21 games left for the Fly Guys, and they'll have the new goalie, Petr Mrazek, in goal tonight. Barry Melrose told us on the show on Tuesday that he thinks the Flyers are in better shape in net now than they were before these injuries. Steve Coates, do you agree with your friend Barry Melrose?
I can't disagree. I think that the combination of Mrazek and Ryan Elliott, once he comes back, would be a little bit more, let's put it this way, consistent, because Neubert's just really been between injury and his play. It's just been like up, down. It's an emotional roller coaster. So Mrazek's solid. There's no two ways about it. He's solid, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in a Flyer uniform tonight.
Coach, how about this run that the team's on right now? And a lot of people are talking about not just post-Eagles Super Bowl win, but how the Flyers have really moved themselves into a playoff position after that December low point when they had gone winless in 10 games.
Well, I don't think it hurts that they were very much involved as a team watching the success of the Philadelphia Eagles and the results. And you'd be happily be crazy not to understand winning in this town is huge. So this hockey team has really taken off. They've got some great play from players like Robert Haig that nobody, really knew how good he was. Gostis Bear and Provorov really become, staples in the National Hockey League. And the play of Konechny and Patrick, moving them up to the first two lines. All these different things have played out to be great moves by Dave Haxtell. Couturier going up with Giroux. Everything seems to be clicking right now for this hockey team. And when you take a look at the turnaround, coming off a 10-game losing streak, I'm starting to beat the drum right now to say, why isn't?
Yeah, we lost Coatsy there.
You're there. Go ahead, Coatsy.
You said, why isn't, and then you vanished. We lost Coach today. He's got a bad signal. Sounds like he could be heading up to.
He is heading up there. Flyers Blue Jackets tonight. Of course, you got 30, 25, and 5 for Columbus, and 31, 19, and 10 for the Fly Guys. And more importantly, Flyers are on a roll right now, 7-0 and 1, I believe, in their last 8 or 9 games. They've been playing real well. They're right within playoff distance. They're 3 points of first place Washington, 2 points behind Pittsburgh. So, Coatsy, you were saying why isn't? Go ahead. We'll pick you back up again.
Well, we were 10-game losing streak, and everybody had us out of the playoffs. It was doomsday, fire the coach. It's unbelievable. So now all of a sudden we got Giroux tied for second in the scoring championship. Voracek leads all the assists. Couturier's having a career year. This team has come out of nowhere to be 3 points out of being the head of the division or a leader in the division. Those are things that, why isn't Claude Giroux being talked about as a most valuable player?
Yeah, it's a good question. Give him an MVP award, but I thought you were going to say, why isn't Dave Haxtell being given the credit that he has to steady the ship? Because Hack was the guy, you're right, people were calling for his head, and it seems like every adjustment that he's made has worked. Moved Giroux to left wing in the beginning, that works. Put TK up on the top line. Travis Konechny has 24 points in 25 games since joining that top line. I'd say that's worked.
Oh, sure it's worked. And, he was smart enough to understand that you got an opportunity because at the beginning of the year and early through October, November, he wasn't playing very well. And everybody said, oh, this must be the sophomore blues, maybe going back to the American League, which he didn't have an opportunity to play in. Going to the American League might be good for him, learn a little bit, ride the bus a little bit, get a little bit of a hunger to come back. But all of a sudden he gets to play with Couturier and Giroux. Well, that's an opportunity, and he didn't let it go away. And that's what it's all about right there. And that's why Dave Haxtell, it'd be hard not to give, bottom line, Gerard Gallant's going to be the coach of the year.
Right.
What he's done with the Vegas Golden Knights is absolutely terrifying. He's setting every record. We got 22 games to go, and he still set the record already last night for most points by an expansion team. So, what's happening in Vegas is scary, and that'd be another guy that I'd be talking about for most valuable player, and that's Marc-Andre Fleury. But this team's a lot of fun to watch right now, and even when you watch teams that are getting it, and teams that watch them when they celebrate after a game now. This is a team that genuinely is excited about winning, genuinely excited about the possibility of moving on and doing some good things. And if they get some breaks, stay healthy, anything can happen in this league right now. And if you're skilled players, your big-time players like Voracek and Giroux continue to be big-time players, then as good as anybody in the league.
Steve Coates is with us, the Flyers, of course, radio network. You'll hear the game tonight as the Flyers take on the Blue Jackets. Petr Mrazek in goal. Alex Lyon got the win the other night. We talked to Alex on yesterday's show. Nice young man. Came into a tough spot the other day to get a win in the Garden. And then I thought played pretty well. They're down 2-1. He kept them in that game against Montreal the other night. Voracek with a couple of big blasts to get that win. But the big question is, how will Petr Mrazek do in the starting role? Because I would assume, Coatesy, that he's probably going to get the lion's share of time the rest of the way. I mean, do you think they're going to ride him for most of these 21 games, or do you anticipate Lyon getting some more work?
No, he's going to – well, Lyon might get, depending upon what the schedule is, back-to-back games. I haven't looked to see how many back-to-backs.
Not many. I think it's only 2. Yeah,
analytics tells you to play your number one goalie the first night, your backup the second. Not that Hack follows analytics by the book. Obviously, you got to go by feel, how your goalie looks, how much work he had the first night, all the different things coming into play. What his record is against the other team. Alex Lyon doesn't have a track record, but, yeah, I would think that Mrazek's going to get the lion's share till Elliott comes back. And I think that after watching Lyon in the last 2 games between New York and Montreal, I got to feel like the coach, if they feel like I feel like watching him the other night, that I feel pretty confident in my 2 goaltenders right now.
Yeah, I know Mrazek, it looked like he was going to be the Red Wings guy, but he struggled in last year and hasn't been very good this year. But as Barry told us on Tuesday's show, well, Detroit's defense isn't very good either, so that could really change things because he was exposed in the expansion draft and Vegas decided not to take him.
Well, I think that's a big play, Mike. I think that's a very important thing you bring up, a very good point, that Detroit's just not a very good hockey club in the last couple of years. So, when you don't have a very good defense in front of you, it makes it a lot tougher for the goaltender. You're not getting – it's not the amount of shots, it's the quality shots that catch up to you. That's why goals against average isn't a good number when you kind of judge a goaltender. It's save percentage. Save percentage really tells the tale, and this goaltender's numbers on a 5-on-5 situation are pretty darn good.
Coatsy, how about the discipline that the Flyers are playing with? When I saw this stat, I had to look twice at it. They haven't surrendered a single power play over their last 3 games. And their current 9-game point streak, 6 of them victories, they've only had 3 or more penalties twice. So they're staying out of the box. The Broad Street Bullies are like, wait, that's not how you play.
Freddie, Cheryl must be rolling over in his grave that we don't have any penalties. But that's the way the game's played, and there's 2 ways to look at that. I guess the penalty kill hadn't been very good, so I guess the best thing to do is don't take any penalties.
Don't put them out.
But it's a team that has shown a lot of discipline, but you don't want to take away from the physicality. I mean, you got to still take the body. I think that they neutered game suspension. I think he's a completely different player. But he's coming back a little bit now. I think that's going to take time because he's a player that has to be physical.
That's Gudis you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And, that cost him $500,000. And that's enough to make you stop hitting. But if he can get that edge back as we head towards an opportunity to play in the playoffs, he'll be a big, big part of the success or lack of success according to how he plays.
It should be fun down the stretch here. Flyers are currently 3rd in the Metro, and that's a spot that maybe a month ago we weren't sure that we'd be talking about, but they are firmly in a playoff
after the
spot.
win over Montreal, Jake Voracek said, look, we're not just happy to get in the playoffs. We're looking at that top spot.
Yeah,
I mean, that's great to hear.
They're right there. They're right 5 behind the Capitals and just 2 behind Pittsburgh. Steve Coates, Tim Saunders will have the call tonight. The Flyers and the Columbus Blue Jackets on the Flyers.
Hey, Michael.
Yes, sir.
Michael, before I go, I got a little trivia for you. This is not the first Mrazek that has ever played for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Ooh.
First goal. There's another goalie that played for the Philadelphia Flyers back in the 70s named Jerome Moses Mrazek.
How about it, Peter?
I think he played in a 6 minutes in a game, and he had a beard before people had beards.
Oh, I'm looking at a picture of the guy in the genie box here, Coates. He looks ghastly.
Hold on. Is you sure that's Jerome Mrazek? I Googled it yesterday because I played with him, but that one could be Bill Flett. You sure it's not Bill Flett?
It looks like he's wearing a 30, and he's got a duster to rival my duster. He doesn't have the beard.
Now, Coachy, are you approving the PT Duster?
I'll judge that when I see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it in person yet.
When it's done.
Oh.
Yeah, when it's completed, I'll give you an update.
I got an accurate picture of Jerome Mrazek up here, by the way. Mid-70s Flyers goalie. Bill Meltzer put it out on Twitter. He's the publicity shot, and I could see that you could, some robins or sparrows could make a nest in that beard. Yes, yeah, I could see it.
I see him here.
Yeah, he was another piece of trivia, Chico Resch was the goaltender for the University of Minnesota Duluth. You remember Chico Resch?
I do.
From the Islanders, former Flyer goaltender. And Jerome Mrazek was the other goaltender at that time.
3 seasons for the University of Minnesota Duluth.
Yep.
There we go. All right, Coatsy.
I love it, Coatsy.
Coatsy and Saunders tonight on the Flyers Radio Network. Thanks, pal.
See you, boys.